Hello there and welcome to episode 9 of Colonization Project. Right now we are launching a new science lab to the Minmus Orbital Outpost because right now the science labs are completely full of data. Actually, science lab, singular, because we only have one on the space station. And we're also taking up a new crew member who will be who will be able to research the data in the lab, because it would be kind of useless if we didn't have a crew member on board. It's also carrying some material kit storage. If you don't know, material kits are a special resource added by modular colonization systems. And they're one of two resources that allow you to produce things off-world. And the other one is specialized parts, but we need the material kits because we have a lot of what are they called? Redundant parts on the Minmus Orbital Outpost that we don't really need anymore. And and if we disassemble those parts, we can turn those parts into material kits. And I don't want to be wasting those redundant parts, because every single unit of material kits that we disassemble on site is 1 kilogram of resources that we won't have to bring back up in the future if we ever do want to start constructing vessels in orbit of Minmus, which I don't think will be for a while because we don't have a base on Minmus yet, and we don't have anything near Minmus that can produce material kits. And it's actually really hard to produce material kits. You need 3 resources. I forget what they are, but you need 3 resources to produce material kit. No, you need 3 resources, and then you need to process those 3 resources into a different set of 3 resources. Then you process all of those 3 resources into material kits. But we won't be doing that for a while because our technology is not that advanced yet. We don't even have ISRU units yet, which means that we can't even produce fuel on site, which is actually our first base on Minmus will probably be a small little refueling depot. It's probably just going to be producing liquid fuel and oxidizer. It's probably going to be unmanned, and it will just produce like liquid fuel and oxidizer from the ore on Minmus, and then we can ship the fuel from Minmus up to the Minmus Orbital Outpost, and then we can refuel a bunch of spacecraft without having to send up gigantic refueling units, which I believe will be quite interesting. But that's not going to be for a long time because, like I said, we don't even have ISRU units yet. We don't have the necessary resources for colonization. The only resources that we really have are sort of things that allow us to do this, like construct space stations, temporary space stations, although I'm saying temporary because the crew can only stay up here for a certain amount of time before they need to get life support again. But this is like the limits of our technology right now. We really don't have enough. We really can't produce anything on site. But we will eventually get to that point where we are producing things on site, which will be exciting. But I talked through that entire mission. What we did was we docked the science lab with the Minmus Orbital Outpost, and now we're just disassembling a bunch of the redundant parts. You can see up at the top how many units of material kits we are getting from all the redundant parts. It's a lot of material kits. We might actually have to send up a new module that's just material kit storage, because right now the only storage we have for those is those small cargo boxes that you see in on the science lab. But let's take a break from future plans and Minimus and move on to this. We have arrived. The Eve probes have arrived at Eve, which is good because it would be kind of useless if they didn't. But all of them have arrived at Eve, but we come to the Gilly lander first because I think it was the one that arrived first, and it also needs to do a... Actually, no, it doesn't. But it's the one that arrives first, so we need to have it do its circularization burn first. I did realize right here that I think I realized right here that it's actually in a... We're actually... No... Are we? Oh yeah, we're going to be going in a retrograde orbit, which isn't good, which means that we're going to only have to do a bit of a circularization burn, and then from there we reverse our orbit and head off to Gilly, because this is what this is designed to do. Which does mean that we push the fuel margins of this quite fine later in the mission, but you will see that later. Which is not now. But you can see just getting all the maneuvers planned so we know when I need to jump back to this craft, but that is not our problem right now. Our main problem at hand is getting the Eve orbiter into orbit. I forgot what this was called for a second, but it is the Eve orbiter, and it contains a lot of the scientific instruments, like the mystery goo units, and that's about it. It carries 3 mystery goo units, just so it can just so it can get all of the science, and then the remaining mystery goo units can get the rest of the science that the orbiter can't. You can see that the Terminator line of Eve looks kind of weird. It is a bug with Scatterer. I'm not sure how to fix it, but it kind of looks kind of cool. But it's because of Eve's atmosphere, because it's so dense. Like, it sort of like refract. Yeah, it's just a sunset. But you can see it does go away, but that is the Eve orbiter will be in orbit for I don't know how long, but now I can get on to the exciting part, which is the Eve lander. We do want to sort of reverse our orbit, because we want to be landing on the daytime side and not the nighttime side, because it's kind of nice to land in the daytime side. But I did take a look at this, and we don't have enough fuel to get into orbit and to deorbit at the same time. So that little transfer stage at the top, that was supposed to get us into orbit and deorbit the entire thing, but we can't do that. So I just decided, let's aerobrake it, like how we land the rovers on Mars. We don't have a transfer stage in order to get them into orbit. We just use the atmosphere to slow it down, which is what we're doing here. I didn't want the Eve. I didn't want the atmosphere to completely burn it up, so I'm just burning all the fuel, just so we're not going as fast, but we're still going almost 4 kilometers per second, which, yeah, that's very fast. But thankfully we do survive. It managed to pull like 40 Gs of acceleration right there. I'm actually not sure if it was 40 or a lower number, but it was. I'm pretty sure the probe pulled 40 Gs worth of it. Not acceleration, deceleration, because we're slowing down. But thankfully we don't have any crew on board. If there were crew on board, then they would most certainly be dead from the G-forces. But probes, they don't care. They really don't care about G-forces, because they're just hunks of metal that have things in them, like science equipment. But we have landed on Eve. We actually landed during the sunset, which makes it it looks really nice, I do say. I think that Eve might be one of my favorite planets in Kerbal Space Program. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorites just because of the atmosphere. You can build like huge planes in it. You can see I did quick save revert there. I'm not sure why, but oh yeah, it was because of the antenna. It was, yeah, it wasn't working, so I just had to quick save revert in order to get it to work. But yeah, there's not much to talk about. We're just transmitting all the science back to Kerbin. I did forget to put it. Oh, excuse me. I did forget to put a lot of. Oh my goodness, this is not going very well. I did forget to put batteries on this, which means that we do have to wait a while for it to transmit. And we are getting a bit less transmit science, but that doesn't really matter. We are getting a lot of science from this, we are also upgrading the R&D center because we want some high-level tech nodes, which is very heavy rocketry. What else are we getting? Large volume containment, high performance fuel systems, heavy aerodynamics, and that's it, which allows us to build. I was planning on having it be perfectly timed, like oh my goodness, I would say, never mind. I was planning on it being perfectly timed, but then I realized that the Gilly lander has a course correction to do. So yeah, we did the course correction. We have now arrived at Gilly. That little transfer stage right there, it's going to run out of fuel right here. So we just detach it and then do the rest with the lander. The lander doesn't have very much delta V. It only has 140. It only has 100 meters per second of delta V, but Gilly needs like 20 meters per second of delta V to land on. So we don't really need that much fuel. Like, we don't need a lot of fuel at all for landing on Gilly, because it's a very small little asteroid moon, which is very good for mining. I'm talking a lot about the future of this series in this episode, but I like talking about the colonization part of Colonization project. But we won't be colonizing any planets anytime soon because, yeah, our technology isn't that great. But yeah, we probably will set up a huge mining installation on Gilly. We might even make a space elevator. I'm not sure. we might. I'm going to have to look into what a space elevator would require, but that would mean we wouldn't need landers. And Gilly is also a very small body, so it's possible to create a space elevator on Gilly. It just depends on whether or not it's worth it to create a space elevator on Gilly. But then again, science isn't about why, it's about why not. And why not build a space elevator on Gilly? Well, we're not doing it right now because I've said this way too many times in this episode, but our technology isn't that great. So we can't build a space elevator on Gilly. But yeah, we did try to do a biome hop, but for some reason it still said the probe was landed, so I couldn't time warp. It was kind of weird, so I just brought it back down again, and we can now move on to the next launch, which is going to be after we unlock high-powered electrics. But we are launching a space shuttle. You can see it is... Okay. The space shuttle. Is it unsafe? Yes. Is it expensive? Yes. Is it cool? Yes. Which is why we built it. Although in Kerbal Space Program, space shuttles are probably more safe than they are in real life because you don't have any of the issues that the real space shuttle had to deal with because it really can't simulate that well, but everything goes well and for this, but we haven't I haven't told you the mission objective of this. And I also haven't told you the name of the space shuttle. Yes, it is called Pathfinder. This is our first space shuttle. And it will also not be our last. Because we will be building another one very shortly, I believe, in the next episode. Which should be coming out soon. And by soon, I mean, I don't know when. Because it could probably be out actually really soon. Because it's all edited and ready to go. So, yeah, there's nothing stopping me from just recording into voiceover. But we are taking the space shuttle out to Minmus because the crew of the Minmus Orbital Outpost is getting homesick. They want to go home, so we're sending up a space shuttle with a small little... I believe it's a greenhouse module, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but we have something relating to life support in the cargo bay, and we're taking it to Minmus because, yeah, it's kind of a waste of a space shuttle to just Oh yeah, it's a small little greenhouse module. It's kind of a waste of a space shuttle to just use it for crew transfers. If we're taking a space shuttle up there, we might as well take a bit of cargo along with it because the space shuttle is extremely versatile. Like it's just like it's going to carry cargo, it's going to carry crew, it's going to carry, I don't know what else you'd put in that category, but it carries cargo and crew. And we might as well use it to carry both. and instead of just using it for one purpose, use it for all the purposes. Oh my... we're just going to use it for everything is what I'm trying to say. But sort of like as a one spacecraft does all kind of thing. Not sure if that's the best way to go about rockets, but yeah. Not much to talk about here. I've said this way too many times. I probably should do this in a different take, like stop recording here and just try and do it again, but I am already 20 minutes into the video. I have 6 minutes left to go. I might as well just finish it off. I might as well just finish it off with the with just doing this single take, because I'm not that good at doing multiple takes, because you have first off you have to stop recording the audio. You then have to find out where you were in the video in order to I'm gonna pause that for a second, because the crew of the Minmus Orbital Outpost, they weren't homesick. They ran out of food. I guess the food is just like just like good tasting food, and then they have to go into like liquidated food, which is like food that's in liquid form. I don't know what astronauts eat. but like gross food, so they have to stop. So they're gonna stop working. They're going to go. Yeah. They're gonna stop working because they don't have any good food to eat. Is what I'm trying to say. But I also realized that the docking ports, we couldn't dock the two spacecraft, so I'm just getting our engineer out on EVA to alter the docking ports a little bit so they can actually dock. But we do have, but we eventually do dock to the space station. And back to what I was trying to say. I forget what I was trying to say. It was something about record. Oh yeah. I don't want to start over because I'm bad at doing that, because you have to find out where you were in the video. Then you have to find exactly that spot, go to it. Then you have to find out where you were in the post commentary, so you have like a smooth transition between everything, and then you have to edit it all together, which I really don't like. So I try to do everything in one take. It sometimes goes well. It sometimes also doesn't go well. But yeah. You have probably noticed by now that I do not do scripts for my videos. I just say, let's record a video, and then I do, and then I do very badly on it. If I did make a script, it would take me so long, and also wouldn't feel as natural as just, I don't know what you would call it, just, yeah. It just doesn't feel as natural. Like you're reading off a script. It just, yeah. I don't like doing the script. I did do it for the first episode of the last series that I did when I was first starting, and then I was like, this takes way too much time, and I don't even follow it. Like if I did do a script, then I wouldn't follow it, because yeah, I'm that bad at doing commentary. But yeah, it's just way easier to just freehand it, I guess. Like you call freehand drawing, like drawing that you don't need any extra materials for. Would this be freehand speaking? I don't know. But back to the video at hand. I've just managed to talk over this entire video without talking about the video that much, but I think most people would understand what's going on. Like, we are re-entering the not space plane. We are re-entering Pathfinder right now, and I'm trying to land it back at the Kerbal Space Center right now. But the space shuttle literally has a glide profile of a brick. Like, a brick with wings would fly better than the space shuttle. I believe that's actually a true fact. Don't quote me on that, but it a lot of people say that the space shuttle flies like a brick, and it does. Which means that we do come up short. We end up stalling the space plane and just coming up a bit short, but we do land safely. Which is, yeah, that's pretty good. But I do believe that will be the end of this episode. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.